Hey everybody, how's everyone doing out there? Well, I want to do an introduction here to a brand new video series that I'm going to begin, and it's going to be numerous videos as I go through the building process of this new project, but I'm going to blend it in with our regular house projects and stuff going on too. So let me get to the bottom of what this new series is going to be. I think many of you are going to really like it. So you know the Bangka boat that I have, the blue boat that I chopped the back off of and I put the outboard Yamaha on it and all. I've had that boat for many years. Mel and I bought it used down in the town of Oton, the next town down, off from a couple brothers on the beach there that were fishermen a long time ago, many years ago. We rebuilt that boat, and when we rebuilt it, you guys watched, and we chopped the back off of it, modified it, put a transom on it, and we put the Yamaha outboard on it. Then I upgraded it with steering and forward control. So in the beginning I was sitting at the back of the boat and I was having to do the old tiller handle, you know, and then I upgraded it to steering and a little dashboard and all that. Well, the boat needed some skin replaced on it because we had done a lot of patchwork on it at different times, and so it was time to do a little upgrading on the skin on it. That's one of the reasons I quit taking it out, was because of that, and it needed new outriggers, the bamboo little cross pieces that go out, which is like a really thick solid bamboo, and then you have like a really hollow long bamboo that work as your outriggers and keeps the boat balanced, because it's just a narrow little canoe that without those it would just rock over to one side or the other. So it being so narrow allows it to slip the water really easy, and you have to have the outriggers to hold it up, and it gives you a lot of stability, including in big waves and all. Wonderful design, years and years, I mean just centuries and centuries of that design going on all through Polynesia, you know, in Indonesia, Polynesia. So it's boat design that I really have a lot of appreciation for, even though I chopped the back off. But I chopped the back off no different than if you go to Thailand and they use, you know, the long tails or what's more like a surface drive on some. And, you know, when you go to other countries, they're using different setups, you know, throughout Africa and some other countries, they have them chopped off on the back and they've got outboards just like I did. And then you've got countries like here in the Philippines that was just running a shaft and prop out, which is a really great design, very basic and works great, very economical, and they don't have any way of like a neutral or a reverse or all. They just point, crank, go, and you know it's the old rope and everything is pretty much foolproof, because I say it's like the old rope. There's no electric starter to go bad, there's no battery to go bad, there's no winding recoil spring to go bad. It's just a spool up in the front, wrap a rope on it, you know, try to hit top dead center on that diesel and give her a good old pull with the compression release kick. So and then you go. And of course I just wanted to have fun modifying one, taking a Bangka and kind of giving it a little bit more of an updated modern feel, you know. And so I mounted, you know, a captain seat that I already had here, a plastic one with a pedestal in it. And it's pretty neat. I enjoyed it. Man, haul butt on the water really fast. But the outriggers were horrible, and the plywood skin on it was leaking and weeping, and we kept patching it, and then I felt it got to a point that it might be a danger. And I didn't want to do any more patchwork, quilt work on the skin on the side, so it was time to just strip it all the way down and give it a once over. So in the midst of this, I am totally remodeling the boat. So I have been going above and beyond, reskinning this boat, and I'm going above and beyond changing the outriggers on it. And I'm modernizing those. I'm doing a lot of updates to the boat, some things I think you're going to find very interesting, and it's going to roll out like it's a 100% different boat. And I hope you enjoy the series. There's a lot of work going into it, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you all enjoy it. So this is my introduction to the new, improved, possibly badass Bangka boat. And kudos to all the Filipinos out there that have Bangka boats. I think that they're great. They're a wonderful design. They're very smart design. And who knows, I might even do another one down the road. I might do one and keep the engine inside, shaft drive, and put a transmission, and might put a really interesting motor in it. Who knows? But I love them. I think they're a wonderful boat. And we're going to try to have a really cool Bangka. And I hope you all enjoy this. Thank you much, and let's get started on video number 1 of this new series. Everybody, if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, comment and let me know if it's something you really enjoy. For my viewers that would just want to see other type of building and all, every other day I'll continue that. But you know, if you really enjoy our channel, you know, throw me a bone and watch this video also. And might be something interesting to you, something new, something different. Everybody, let's get started. Here, well, we got a little lag time too, knocking the outriggers and everything off my boat. This bamboo's no good. It's actually still strong on those pieces, but they're too straight, especially those front ones are way too straight, and it shaves the water right in your face every time. The problem was this boat had a leak up in the front. Join it right here. That's where they are, right there, right there. So we patched it a couple times, but I want to fix that better. So we're going to bring it in underneath that new Nippa hut, roll it over. Really excited to have this thing back on the water again, set my outboard back on it. Go ahead. So that was a soft spot right there. I tell you, just go ahead and start ripping it out. And it's wet in there right now too. Not too bad though, huh? But just right near that hole. Yeah. Yeah. Shows that the moisture was getting to it there. Right along this line. So and see, you can see loose right here too. I mean, look here. We put a patch here before. We put a patch here before. Look, here's a patch here, patch here.
Sorry about all.
Well, let's look at all the patches.
Yeah, looks bad.
Patch, patch, patch. Piece, man. Let's. Yeah, see all this epoxy here? So I say, let's be careful, don't damage this piece and slowly remove it. It's in two pieces right there.
Yes, but
Yeah, and let's go ahead and.
so on hand. Extra chisel there, bro.
Huh?
Black chisel.
Yeah, I have. I'll go get it. And we want to keep our mess cleaned up out here. So if you get a lot of stuff, just take it on over there to the burn pile, okay? All right, let's go get it. See, that's all wet right on that seam. So another thing I was talking to Marvin about earlier is bulkheads. These pump boats don't really have bulkheads, but they have like where a position would be that would be a bulkhead, right in here where this little support frame is. There in the middle right here, and another one here at the back I'll show you. Right in there where that is. Like I say, the other one would be right in here. So while we have both sides stripped off, I'm going to knock off those little mounts for the little mast to stick up, and I'm going to buy material and we're going to cut and fit in bulkheads in it. Now the typical Bangka out here doesn't have bulkheads. They let all the water drain back to one position and they bail it out or pump it out. Called pump boat because they're always pumping water out. So they'll have this little tube that they make, this little pipe with a plunger before that they would really pump out the water. What I'm going to do in the bottom of those bulkheads is I'm going to insert I'm just going to use something local, a PVC fitting with a cap in it, maybe like an 1.5 inch one, and put down in there, and that way I'll divide off those bulkheads. But if I want to drain all the water to one end and drain it out, well then I can let it all go back to one belge area and drain out. So that's how I'm going to do those there. But I am going to put bulkheads in. I am going to have this front one where it's completely in the dry. It's closed in part of the way there now. What I'll do is close in right all the way back to that spot, and I may go ahead and get online and buy a little hatch door and put in there, and then you got this little dried in bulkhead in the front. Those bulkheads are important. If you crash the boat like in the front here into something, all the water can't gush and fill the whole boat. If you punch the center section, it can't gush and fill the whole boat. If you punch this section, same thing, and then the very back. So let's give a little rundown of the upcoming improvements. So we're going to reskin the sides. I'm going to strip all the paint off of the bottom of the boat right there, along the keel, everywhere, and get it down to bare wood again. And the back side of the sheets with epoxy resin before we put them on, before they go there here onto this. And then we're going to epoxy it onto the sides right here. That way the back side of my sheets cannot get wet and weep water and all, and soak up. And then with all the wood bare and naked and the new wood bare and naked here, I'm going to epoxy resin the outside and I'm going to lay a layer of fiberglass over. And so that's how we're going to do this. And so it's going to get a layer of cloth, fiberglass cloth put on it. So I think that's going to make it a whole lot better in the long run. Now, then we're going to have sealed bulkheads with drains in the bottom of them. A hatch where we got a completely dry compartment in the very front right up there, and it's sealed to where if you hit anything in the front, the water can't leak into the rest of the boat. Then we're not going to use the bamboo outriggers. I'm going to put a solid beam across right here at this bulkhead, right at that bulkhead coming out. And then what I'm going to do on that is put a little mini pontoon out on each side that looks designed like this little Bangka boat. We'll have a little mini pontoon out on each side, not sticking out as wide as they normally are here on these Bangka boats. So I'm going to tuck it in just a little bit. It'll still be extremely stable and not be like super wide. And one of the benefits out of that is, one thing, it's not so wide. Like I say, it'll still be very stable. I'll have good strong lumber going across, and I'm going to build a little trailer. I've got some angle iron out front from an old truck rack that we'll cut down if I have to buy a little additional angle iron. And I'll probably just use some like motorcycle wheels. I'll probably go see if I can find like some like cast wheels, some aluminum cast motorcycle wheels, and make me a little axle. I might put 2 or 4 tires on it, and I want it to where I can roll it out of the water right here. So if it's not super wide, I'll be able to roll it down the ramp with the pickup and launch it and pull it in on its own little mini trailer underneath it, a little cradle for it. And I can use either one of my vehicles then. That's the biggest struggle Mel and I had, is that we hate asking people to help us ever move and feeling like we owe them all the time. And one of the reasons we didn't use this as much, because of course the weather constantly changes at the shore. You need to bring it in. All these local fishermen are always helping each other, but we're not local fishermen. We're just, doing this with pleasure and fun and all. And we really don't want to bug everybody about our boat all the time. Then the next thing is that, we decide we want to head out at 5 a.m. in the morning. Everybody's doing their thing or asleep, or if we, whenever we want. So we want to be able to just roll the boat out into the water as we want. And we want to be able to bring it in without bothering a lot of other people. And with it on a little trailer, as long as it'll fit between this pole and that wood right over there, which is pretty wide, I can still leave a little bit of width on it. We can bring it in and we can pull it right over here and just park it or anything, or we can bring it up there and park it over out of the way. And with it up on the cradle too, the bottom of it staying dry, you're not wearing down the slipper always. And then if we are still able to go up and beach it at another beach as we travel over to, say, like to a neighboring island or down the beach here somewhere, we can still beach it. Out here on the boat, they got all this side strip. He took pliers, he pulled all the little bronze nails out. There they are, all those little bronze nails. You can reuse those, especially Filipinos know reuse that resource. So got all that out, and then see, they're heading out. It's low tide right now, so they'll have to slip over the shallows there. And then down this side too, they got all the main part of the wood stripped off. Yeah, got all the main part of the wood stripped off down to there, and they'll start cleaning all the ribs tomorrow on that. Christian's paddling while his dad's trying to get the boat started. Wind up the motor with a rope, find top dead center, wrap it one more time, and then give her a tug. Here he goes. He's ready to give it a tug. Here he goes. Up with the tug while Christian keeps it off the shore. And there he goes. And then they got to go over a couple little sandbars here. Christian's getting up on the very front, so he'll kick the prop up in the back up high so it don't bury into the sand. That's why he moved way forward. Oh, but they came to a stop. They'll kind of float over it. See, Christian's keeping all his weight to the front. They still came to a stop. He's gonna have to get off. Yeah, he got off and took his weight off a second. They're stuck up on a sandbar. Oh, they got to get off and push it. Motor's still turning. Really slow though. Yeah. It's still a putting. I think it died. Did it stay alive? No, it's still a putting. And then they got to go over another one. Maybe they'll hit it with just a little speed. Sometimes there's a gap right down there in front of those kids. Let's see if they try to take it right over this other one. There's another one right here. Christian's getting ready for it. We'll zoom up a little more. There we go. I think they're going to make out when some waves help them. Yeah, they bobbed over that one. And one more little wave there. And then there's another sandbar out there. You see the waves breaking on it, but there's a gap right in there. You see it's not as much waves. There they go. Off and going. By object. They got a little, we call them boogie boards, that you just throw down on the water, you know.